Happy holidays, everyone! The most wonderful time of the year is finally here. It is the season of love, hope, and giving, which we aim to spend with our families and, of course, our peers. The pandemic may have toned down our holiday revelries in the past year, but as vaccines pour in ahead of the festive season, this means more smiles and definitely less tears.
Right now, the best Christmas gift one could ever ask is for this pandemic to end soon. But not even this could dampen our spirit in celebrating the birth of the Savior. But more than savoring overflowing food and gifts of all shapes and sizes, the act of spreading happiness that changes lives gives the occasion a more wonderful flavor.
Good evening, I am William Theo.
And I'm Marita Muaje. As we celebrate another Christmas amid a pandemic, we share with you gifts of great value and essence.
Heartwarming stories that once again prove that the Filipino spirit is greater than any setback or adversity. This is the PNA Newsroom Christmas Special.
Here, the gifts of great value that will bring cheers and inspiration this Christmas. Faith and tradition very much alive. Churches light up and open doors to the faithful for the traditional Simbang Gabi as coronavirus restrictions ease. Merrier holidays await a family beneficiary of the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa program as a second chance at a better life awaits them in their hometown. Hope for the protection of the environment shines as Christmas trees made of recycled items take center stage in Rizal. And Voices for a Meaningful Cause, a choir in Bulacan, is showing the prowess of their God-given talents to give more to those who have less.
The celebration of Christmas in the Philippines entails scores of traditions that date back to the Spanish colonial era. And with the easing of COVID-19 restrictions, the faithful are once again back to the pews of churches for their traditional Simbang Gabi to celebrate faith and, in turn, thank the Lord for blessings and wish for more. Laid Kabagani takes a look at how this tradition is kept alive amid the pandemic.
Simbang Gabi is very much alive in the country amid the prevailing pandemic that the world is facing nowadays. Simbang Gabi is a 90 devotional series of Mass in anticipation of Christmas, which starts from December 16 to December 24. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, recommended that Simbang Gabi this year start as early as 6 p.m. for the anticipated Mass on December 15 and 6 a.m. for the morning Mass on December 16. It says the regulated hours are necessary to implement social distancing even in liturgical celebrations. Also known as Misa de Gallo, the dawn Masses traces its origin to Catholic-dominated countries like Spain and Mexico. Monsignor Manny Villaroman of the Santa Monica Parish Church in Angat, Bulacan, shared with us as to how the tradition started in the country.
Ang Simbang Gabi ay ginawa una noong pang 1668 ng mga Espanyol para sa mga magsasaka dahil sa hindi sila makapag-simba sa madaling araw o sa araw, kaya ginawa ang Simbang Gabi sa madaling araw at sa gabi na ngayon na lang ay ginagawa. Pero noon ay sa madaling araw, kaya tinatawag ito Misa de Gallo, Mass of the Roosters, kung saan nagsisimba ang magsasaka bago pumasok sa pagsasaka.
As time goes by, Monsignor Villaroman said the holding of Simbang Gabi has been offered to Virgin Mary.
Kasunod nito ay nagawa na ang Simbang Gabi na para sa karangalan ng Mahal na Birheng Maria. Kung saan tumami ang mga nagsisimba at naging masaya ang pagdiriwang ng Simbang Gabi sapagkat halos pamilya na ang nagsisimba ng panahong iyon ng Simbang Gabi na iniintay ang pagdating ng Mesiyas sa Kapaskuhan.
Meanwhile, a well-known belief is that if a devotee completed all 9 days of the Simbang Gabi, his or her prayer request may be granted.
Naliligayahan ako, naka-attend ako dito. Wala namang problema. Ang hinihiling ko sa Panginoon, wag ako makakasakit.
Every novena na ginagawa natin sa Mahal na Birhen, yung pagsisiyam, ganun din naman yung ginagawa natin sa pagsisimbang gabi. Meron at meron akong hinihiling sa kanila.
Kasi 35 anos na ako, pero pinipilit ko magpunta sa simbahan.
Bakit po?
Nagpapalasimba naman ako. Pinipilit ko pumunta para mahingi ng awa sa Diyos.
For Monsignor Villaroman, there is nothing wrong with this kind of motivation as the church encourages people to become more prayerful.
Magandang motibasyon sa mga tao sapagkat minsan ay maraming nawawalan ng pag-asa sa buhay. Kung sasabihin mo na sa Simbang Gabi, maaari nasa iyong panalangin ay magtupad o ipagkaloob ng Diyos ang iyong panalangin, sino makapagsasabi hindi magagawa ng Diyos yun? Lahat ay pwedeng gawin ng Diyos sa atin. Kung tayo'y nananalangin at may malalim na pananalig sa Panginoon.
Simbang Gabi will not be complete without enjoying the taste of freshly cooked puto bongbong and bibingka. With the gradual easing of restrictions, Monsignor Villaroman encourages the faithful to attend the Mass physically for a full experience.
Itong panahon ng pandemya, ang lagi mga misa ay online kasi hindi makalabas ang tao at makapunta sa simbahan. Pero kung ngayon ay maluwag na at pwede na magsimba ang mga tao, mas magandang karanasan at bahagi ng pananampalataya ang pagsisimba ng face-to-face or sa loob ng simbahan. Sapagkat dito natin pinagdiriwang ang ating pananalig sa Diyos. Tumatanggap ka mismo ng katawan at dugo ni Kristo sa loob ng simbahan.
He said it is more important to lift everything to the Lord and never lose sight of the essence of Christmas, which is the Word of God and the Communion.
Ang mensahe ko sa panahon ito ng Kapaskuhan ay patuloy tayong manalig, huwag tayong mawalan ng pag-asa sapagkat ang Panginoon naman ay lagi nakatungkay sa buhay ng bawat isang tao.
For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Laid Kabagani.
Aside from colorful lights, joy sounds, and mouth-watering food, Christmas won't be complete without gifts. It's a time of the year again where children, both young and young at heart, hit the streets and the screens to greet their godparents and their much-awaited aguinaldo. But more than turning little Santa Claus, what does being a godparent mean? Bench Bondok gives us the answers.
Merry Christmas!
There is more to being a godparent than just giving cash gifts to children. For Monsignor Manny Villaroman of the Santa Monica Parish Church in Angat, Bulacan, parents choose who they want to become godparents of their children based on their relationship with a person and who they think they can depend upon for the spiritual and financial needs of their loved one.
Ang totoo niyan, ang mga ninong-ninang na kinukuha ng mga magulang para sa kanilang anak sa binyag ay pagpapatunay na ang relasyon ng ninong-ninang sa bata ay malalim batay sa kinuha sila ng magulang. Meron silang interes doon sa bata. Kalawa, ay laging sinasabi sa atin na ang ninong-ninang ay pangalawang magulang ng magulang ng mga anak nila. So, sakali ko ano man ang mangyari, sila ang tatay yung magulang ng mga bata.
Monsignor Villaraman also clarifies that being a godparent means being the right person to go to whenever their godchild is in need. This, however, does not mean that parents are becoming pushy or materialistic, especially for those with a dozen ninongs and ninangs.
Hindi ko naman masasabing naging materialistic na ang mga tao ngayon, pero batay sa mga nangyayari, ay gusto lang ng mga tao minsan na sila ang maging ninong-ninang, kaya dumadami ang mga ninong-ninang ng mga bata. Itong panahon ito ng kapaskuhan, maganda rin naman na matulungan ang mga bata o mabigyan ng bata sa material na pangangailangan.
But for some parents, it seems they go beyond their borders to the point of obliging the godparents to buy expensive things for their children, just like the sentiments of some godparents who are making the rounds on social media. Some of them say they feel they are being obliged to give more than they can. Some say they are still single, yet they feel they carry the burden of supporting their godchildren. Some already warned not to get them as ninong or ninang if they will only get stressed with the demands of the parents for their kids. While others remind godparents not to be stressed out with gift giving but rather focus on the true essence of Christmas, which is to express love to one another, for Monsignor Villaraman, godparents are there to become good examples for their godchildren.
Ang ninong-ninang ay pagbutihin natin yung paggabay sa mga ina-anak sa antas ng pagpapalalim ng ating pananampalataya sapagkat iyan kanilang gampanin.
He also said that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, children may not be able to physically see their godparents. But what is important is that their inaanak will feel their presence by communicating with them, reminding them that Christmas is about the birth of Jesus Christ, who was born with only a few people around him.
Itong panahon na to na tayo ay sinasabing hindi muna magsasama-sama, isang alaala ito nung nangyari ng Pasko. Sapagkat mismong si Kristo nang siya'y ipanganak, halos 3 lang tao ang kanyang kasama, ang kanyang ina, si Maria, at si Jose, na kanyang ama. Na sa panahon ngayon ay ipahayag natin sa ating mga gawa ang kahulugan ng pagmamahal ng Diyos sa atin. At sana sa ating presensya, maipakita natin ang kahulugan na meron tayong pinananaligang Diyos.
For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Bench Bondo.
Gift giving and shopping are habits synonymous to the Christmas season. The pandemic may have changed the way we celebrate the holidays, but how much did it change the way we buy and give gifts? Chris Mundo gives us a peek at how COVID-19 changed our values and habits when it comes to gift giving.
If there's one thing people look forward to every Christmas, it's the chance to give gifts to their friends and loved ones. Even a raging pandemic did not stop people from flocking to malls, stores, and even websites to take advantage of Christmas sales and promos. And now that restrictions have all but eased, there's more legroom to spend Christmas. Even so, since COVID-19 has changed so much of our lifestyle, how much did the value of holiday gift-giving change as well?
So these days, especially when everything is done online, I really focus on giving gifts that are practical and I know na magagamit or I know na kailangan ng tao. Even in our family, they ask us what we need or what we want. We have like a running list of wish lists.
For Kath Eustaquio-Durla, founder and CEO of Paper Cat Books, self-care items are ideal gifts with the pandemic weighing on everyone's heads.
Honestly, I think books or anything for self-care are good gifts to give this holiday season because people are physically, mentally, and emotionally tired. Even with yung pagluluwag ngayon ng restrictions, people are still tired, people are still anxious, people are still scared. So I think anything that has to do with self-care and maybe self-improvement is a good gift to give.
A poll conducted by the PNA Newsroom showed that 85.7% of the respondents prefer giving traditional gifts in kind rather than cash. Meanwhile, close to half want to receive cash over gifts.
Para sa akin, gusto ko something little na mga mahalaga na pwedeng gamitin at maitulong sa dapat tulungan, hindi pera, kasi ang pera madaling maubos.
Iba yung essence nung pagbibigay. Kahit small things lang, will appreciate na rin. Unlike na cash kasi may value eh. So pag maliit yung natanggap, parang ay ang liit. Pero pag things na pinaghirapan mong bilhin, nandun yung spirit talaga ng giving.
Mag-e-effort tayong malaman kung ano yung gusto ng tao, kung ano yung hilig niya. Tapos pag nabigay mo sa kanyang gamit, mahahawa ka na, mapi-feel niya. Hindi ka na makakalimutan. Parang memorable sa kanya yun. Parang ganun. So mas maganda talaga, in kind.
Back in November, Twitter's holiday research in the Philippines noted that 42% of conversations of shoppers are looking for good deals, given the tight financial situation during the pandemic. 35% of them, meanwhile, seek gift suggestions. Twitter also said 36% of their conversations want to see more heartwarming holiday content from brands. But no matter what trends came about during the pandemic, the objective of gift giving never changes. At the end of the day, giving gifts this Christmas means strengthening ties, sharing blessings, and spreading happiness. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Chris Crismundo.
Up next, we will be sharing with you how the spirit of Christmas is greatly felt by some of our kababayans who chose to make their life a complete turnaround for the best. And we will bring you stories that will inspire us to give as we see the sweet smiles of the people who benefit from our own gift-giving drive. PNA Newsroom will be back in a bit.
Magpares bakuna. Magtanong sa inyong health center o tumawag sa DOH 1555 hotline.
Searching for opportunities in the city requires courage and perseverance. And while some are able to survive, some are not as lucky as them, with the pandemic making the situation even harder. But all hope is not lost as the government opens the door for new beginnings through the Balik Probinsya, Bagong Pag-asa program, giving them a fresh shot at a better life. Rom Dulfo zooms in on what BP2 beneficiaries are looking forward to this Christmas.
Uy,
Balik Provincia beneficiary Von Cobilla no longer need to ask for loans from friends for their Noche Buena this year, as they can now afford to buy their own food and celebrate a worry-free Christmas. Their dream of having a bountiful Christmas with as much food as they want on their table has now become a reality, thanks to the Balik Provincia Bagong Pag-asa or BP2 program of the national government.
Sobrang saya ko po kasi lalo na ngayong Pasko, siyempre meron ng kaming budget para sa mga Noche Buena. Dati po, siyempre, inuutang ko po yung para magkaroon ng sa Noche Buena sa Pasko.
Cobilla now has pigs, goats, cows, and carabaos that he trades and gives him a daily earning of about 10,000 pesos. He said he used the financial aid he received when he availed of the BP2 program as his capital for his business.
Lahat naman po yung yung nagbigay po sa akin ng sa doble, wala sa akin ng bigas, sa DSWD, 15,000 cash. Tapos, yung dun sa bago kami umalis, yung packet namin. Yun po yung tapos hanggang umuwi kami dito. Yung mga binigay sa akin, yun po ang ginawa ko po puhunan dito. Namili po ng baboy. Hanggang ngayon po, parang lumago na po yung anak buhay.
If not for the BP2 program, Cobilla says he could still be in Manila right now trying to survive, and he is thankful for the program. Cobilla recounted the day when he learned about the BP2 program on TV. He says he got excited and applied at once. It was the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, the community quarantines, and because of this, he too, like many others, lost his job.
Yung nabalita ko po na ganito po bibigyan ng mga anak buhay. Pagod yung inano ko na ito siguro yung makakapag-bago ng kasi doon siksikan sa Manila.
Cobilla was scheduled to go to the BP2 depot on May 20, but because of excitement, he already went to the venue on the 19th, and on the 21st, he was on his way to Leyte. Cobilla says he went to Manila to try his luck. But after 9 years of staying in the city, transferring from one relative's house to another, his earning was just only from 200 to 400 pesos. More often than not, his earnings were not enough that he needs to borrow money or loan the food that would eat from the sari-sari store. Cobilla says it was his dream and plan to go into buy and sell of livestock, and that he shared this when he was interviewed by the BP2 staff. Cobilla expressed gratitude to Senator Bongo and to President Duterte for the program. Now he says they can now buy what they want.
Dati nakakabili ako ng baboy, mga 2-3, ngayon marami na. Nakakabili na ako ng 80 piraso na pang litson ba. Tapos yun ang hinahanap ko ngayon.
Cobilla recalled how he took his chance in Manila and gambled, but now he realized that there is no place like home and that life is much better in the province where he was born and grew up.
Uwi ko dito, yan talaga yung pinangarap ko. Namilagi na ng Una po, nag-ano lang muna ako, nagbibili ng isang baboy. Kakatayin ko, tapos bibinta ko mga karne, per kilo. Hanggang naisipan ko po na medyo maano na yung punan ko. Naisipan ko po ng mga buhay na lang, tapos bibinta sa mga palengke. Yun po, hanggang na mas maganda yung kita. Yung tinuloy-tuloy ko po hanggang sa ngayon.
He says he used to earn from 500 pesos to 700 pesos per pig.
Dati, kumikita po kami ng minsan 700 sa isang baboy. Pero kinakata po namin yun. Isa lang ang bibili namin, isa, 2. Tsaga-tsaga lang po, 500, 600. Pagod po kami kasi gabi kinakatay namin. Sa umaga, yun ang pag-dispose namin, panghatid sa bahay-bahay. Kahit sa pagod namin, pero ngayon, na ano talaga namin na hindi namin namalayan hanggang tumatagal, lumalaki na po yung ano namin.
Now, Cobillia says they can earn a net of up to around 10,000 pesos per day. Because of this, he encourages his friends and relatives who are still in Manila to avail themselves of the PP2 program.
Namin ngayon, hindi na kami, kumbaga nakakakain na kami ng 3 beses sa isang araw. Nakakakain na kami sa ano namin bahay, kunti-kunti. Kasi kumikita naman po kami dito. Gaya noon, nakakautang pa kami, nakikipagsiksikan ako doon sa Manila. Umutang po kami doon. Ngayon po parang ano na po, kumbaga parang sariling ano na po, yung oras namin sa amin na. Ako na po yung nag-ano ng oras namin na. Di tulad dati yung sa trabaho na binantayan kami. Ngayon sariling oras ko na po, ako na humahawak. Ako na po yung nag-ano sa kung anong oras ang biyahe namin, pabalik. Parang laking pasasalamat ko po sa balik probinsya.
Meanwhile, Vaughn's wife Lorena says it is the happiest Christmas for them so far.
Nagpapasalamat din ako dahil masipag siya, saka hindi niya kami pinababayaan, at saka lalo pa niyang pinagsisipagan para mabigyan kami ng maayos na pamumuhay. Nakamasaya kasi
buong pamilya.
buo kami. Tapos kumbaga may handa, kumbaga mabibili namin kung anong gusto namin.
Christmas comes only once a year, and children are the happiest when this time comes as they enjoy food, gifts, and all sorts of beautiful things that fill their hearts with happiness and laughter. However, this is not the same story for kids who have been left to fend for themselves and are hoping to find a caring family that will take them in. And as charity begins at home, it has been a tradition for some groups to bring holiday cheers to the less fortunate and the abandoned for them to also feel the love, hope, and joy brought about by the season. Joining the pack of those who turned Santa Claus to abandoned kids is our very own News and Information Bureau. The details from Chris Mundo.
Christmas is the season of giving. With this in mind, the News and Information Bureau, or simply NIB, an attached agency of the Presidential Communications Operations Office, brought early Christmas cheers by bringing in-kind donations to abandoned children in an orphanage in Santa Mesa, Manila. A total of 25 children aged 1 to 7 years old are currently under the direct care of the Concordia Children's Services, while 110 children and youth are under their community-based program.
We have two main programs. Number one is the Receiving Home program or the residential base. So ito yung 25 kids namin. In our community base, we have 110 children and youth that we support sa kanilang education. So we provide financial assistance, family counseling, and other services that we can render for them.
Happy children welcomed the NIB staff as we went around the orphanage. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic limiting our interactions, the children waved from afar and tried to interact. Danny, a resident 1-year-old girl, looked surprised seeing new faces but happily waved as well, as if seeing visitors is both something new and strange, with the COVID-19 quarantine restrictions that limited people's movement and sent them confined in their homes. Bandola shared the Philippine news agency how some of the children ended in the orphanage.
But iba yung circumstances nila, ma'am, but for instance, si baby Danny, yung aming second to the youngest, iniwan siya ni mother niya upon delivery sa hospital. Nagpalipat-lipat din yung bata sa iba't ibang institution until napunta sa amin. So meron din naman din kaming case na hinulog si baby sa Manila Bay and then nakakulong ngayon si mother. So hinihiring pa yung case.
He added that they also have children who were brought directly and surrendered by their mothers to the institution.
Ginagawa namin yun kasi gusto rin namin i-prevent that itong mga bata na to ay matagpuan namin sa basurahan and later on baka doon pa mawalan ng buhay.
The paramount goal of the Concordia Orphanage remains to be the welfare of their children, and that the institution exhausts all their efforts towards reuniting the children with their true family, adding that adoption is only an option. With Concordia's 38 years of existence, Bandola said that they were just grateful to have helped many children through the years. Several of them still return to visit the orphanage where they once stayed to lend a hand. Bandola shared that the institution mainly exists on donations and sponsorships and that the pandemic affected them.
Dahil sa pandemic, we experienced basically yung monetary donations namin plummeted. So umagsak siya and the in-kind donations, dahil wala nga rin visitors, hindi rin nakakalabas yung mga tao, nag-drop din yung in-kind namin.
They were thankful for organizations such as the NIB for reaching out and extending help.
Sobrang thankful kami sa lahat ng mga organizations na pumupunta sa Concordia. Malaking tulong, lalong-lalo na sa mga bata. Lagi namin tinitignan yung stock room namin na nauubos na eh. So the in-kind donations ay malaking tulong. Any amount will do.
Interested donors may get in touch with the orphanage through their website www.concordiachildrens.org or through their Facebook page.
Merry Christmas!
For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Chris Mundo.
Still to come, Christmas is not complete without hearing the joyful music of the Philharmonic Orchestra and Bulacan Chorale. Back after a quick break, stay with the PNA Newsroom.
Umabot sa 3,372 ang natagdag sa kaso ng COVID-19 sa bansa.
The Christmas season ushers in smiles and cheers for many as celebrations are made more vibrant with decorations and gifts. But as the clock is ticking on efforts to curb the impacts of climate change, there are ways in which Filipinos are gifting the environment, one step at a time. Bench Bondok provides insights on celebrating the season the eco-friendly way.
Artistic and creative Rizaleños once again wowed the public with their grandiose Christmas trees made out of the most simple recycled plastic materials to the tiny rubber cap from vaccine vials destined to be thrown out as they are already considered trash and useless. The yearly Christmas tree making contest in Rizal, which is part of the province's Yes to Green program, aims to foster the promotion and protection of the environment to attain sustainable development and socio-economic and political growth. Rizal Tourism Officer Corazon Lacerna told the Philippine News Agency that the Yes to Green program started in 2003 and is the banner program of Governor Rebecca Inares, aligning all the other programs and projects of the province. Moreover, the program brings out the creativity and artistry of Rizaleños.
Rizal is the art capital of the Philippines. Pero yung programa niyang Yes to Green program, yun ay may kinalaman sa cleaning, greening, and recycling. Magaling ang mga Rizaleño when it comes to visual arts at sa iba't iba pang sining.
Lacerna said the Christmas trees symbolize their people's creativity and craftsmanship with a strong consideration for the environment and nature. A big part of the materials used by different towns in creating their Christmas trees is made from recycled materials that were patiently collected over the year, as this is the #1 criteria. She also said the Christmas tree designs by every town are different each year.
Ito ay yung mga labi ng mga bagay na may kinalaman sa kanilang hanap buhay, ginagamit sa pang-araw-araw at kung ano ang meron doong sa bayang yon.
She also said the final output is the product of the residents' contributions, bringing out the bayanihan spirit in them.
Doon makikita yung bayanihan, pagkakaisa, yung true spirit nito. Kaya yan ay yari sa pinagsamasamang kaisipan at pagkakaisa ng mga mamamayan. Kaya pag yan ay inilawan, feel na feel nila ang kanilang nagawa at feel na feel nila na ito'y kanila, may sense of ownership. Kasi yung kanilang konsepto, yung mga ginamit, lahat yan galing sa kanila.
Aside from plastic materials, some towns like the town of Binangonan use the tiny rubber cap from the vaccine vials. However, Lacerna assured that they are safe and that all the materials used in each Christmas tree are cleaned and properly washed. She also invited everyone to come and visit Rizal, not only for their Christmas trees, but also to see the natural beauty of the province.
Para naman po sa ating mga mamamayang malapit sa lalawigan ng Rizal at yung gusto rin pong pumunta, kayo po ay welcome sa province of Rizal. Iniimbitahan po natin kayo dito sa province of Rizal. Paskuhang may puso sa lalawigan ng Rizal.
For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondok.
From the biggest concerts to the simplest street caroling, the COVID-19 pandemic has muted the sounds of Christmas due to curbs on movement and gatherings. And as the curbs ease, the voices that usher in the joy of the occasion are back to serenade Filipinos, with carols taking center stage at the first live performance of the renowned Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra after nearly 2 years. The details from Janice Cave.
The COVID-19 pandemic did not only change the way people live their daily lives, but it also stopped the music playing for some. After 2 years of not performing for a live audience, members of the prestigious Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra were finally able to do a live Christmas concert, thanks to the Philippine Postal Office. Musician members of the world-renowned Symphony Orchestra resident of the Cultural Center of the Philippines found the new experience overwhelming. Jerry Graham Gonzalez, who has been playing the cello for the orchestra for 7 years now, shared the joy he felt performing live.
So ngayon, live, mas okay yung feeling. Parang mayroong nagkukumpas talaga, actual person na conductor. Mas talaga authentic, yung hindi siya yung naka-fix na tempo. So lahat ng flow ng music mas alive yung tunog.
What made the event more special is that it was a Christmas concert for Philpost's launch of its Christmas stamps that depict the new ways Filipinos celebrate Christmas amid the coronavirus disease pandemic that is anchored on hope, togetherness, love, and faith.
As we celebrate the Christmas season, let us bring inspiration, hope, and joy through music, especially to those who have lost their loved ones amid this pandemic.
Despite being the orchestra's concertmaster for 10 years, Dino De Sena felt nervous, like it was again his first time to perform before a live audience. He also expressed gratitude to Philpost for the opportunity given them.
Bumaliking ka ba eh. Wala kaming performance in 2 years eh. So, iba naman yung mag-perform ng nasa harapan ng camera. Ito may live. Sa pag may nanonood na tao, medyo iba yung feeling.
He expressed optimism that this will be the start of normalization and that they get to perform again for the Filipino people.
Hopefully, sa sunod-sunod na to, matigil na tong endemic na to. Pandemic. Kasi kawawa yung mga musicians, yung mga performers. Most of the time, nasa bahay lang kami, nagre-record online concerts. Pero ngayon, dahil live, medyo bago lahat, nakakapanibago.
National Commission for Culture and the Arts Chairman and CCP President Arsenio Niclizazo, a seasoned theater pedagogue, actor, director, and producer, shared his joy over the event. He said that it is difficult for an artist to perform virtually as he or she does not feel the audience.
Tremendously happy. You know, we've been looking forward to something like this because me personally, I always believe in that magical moment between the performer and the audience. It's got to be live. Mahirap ang virtual, hindi mo ma-feel ang audience. And with the presence of a physical audience, it makes the artist, performer, musicians, or otherwise, a better performer. That's why I'm so happy about it.
As the orchestra members wish everyone a truly merrier Christmas this year, even the pandemic still around, they also encourage the public to keep their hope and faith intact.
Never lose hope. Importante yung hope. No? Like kami, mga musicians, no, we're hoping na mawala itong nangyayaring itong pandemic na to, matapos na. Kailangan optimistic lang. So, miski naghihirap, kailangan you have to look yung positive side. So, lahat naman mayroong ibig sabihin eh. So, kailangan lang natin i-endure.
Fulgencio said that they dedicate the concert to the Philpost employees who succumbed to COVID-19.
We dedicate this concert to all our frontline heroes, especially our fallen brothers and sisters in the Postal Service. Hindi matatawaran ang ipinamalas ninyong hatid malasakit sa publiko. Thank you for your resilience, courage, and selfless service.
Spreading love, hope, and joy is the biggest picture of Christmas celebrations. This is embodied in many songs that warm our hearts and bring us smiles, courtesy of groups that continue to share their God-given talents to add flavor to the already festive mood. But more than just hitting perfectly those high notes to the tune of the holiday spirit, some of them sing for a more meaningful purpose. Bench Bondoc tells us more.
Christmas is about giving. It is the very essence of love and unselfishness. It is in the nature of Filipinos to give even during challenging times like the pandemic. Whether big or small, in whatever forms, we Filipinos would care to share what we have. Just like a choral group in Maykawayan City, Bulacan, the church-based Legion of Mary Choir is using their talents in music to raise funds to help their community and a chosen charity, which is the Hospicio de San Juan de Dios in Bocaue, that takes care of mentally challenged individuals.
Sinusubukan namin na bawat schedule ng choir ay merong makakakanta. Either maging isa lang yan, or dalawa, or tatlo. For as long as merong willing at dedicated na kumanta, tuloy-tuloy ang service.
Before the pandemic, Legion of Mary Choir led 2 concerts in Santo Niño Parish of Maykawayan and received singing gigs in weddings on the side of their regular choir schedule in the parish. And then the COVID-19 pandemic struck, in which singing becomes a high-risk activity. Patrick Legaspi, president of Legion of Mary Choir, shared that the group has never stopped singing in the parish since the onset of the pandemic, even during the hard lockdowns.
Nandun yung objective natin na makapag-raise ng fund para mabigay dun sa hospicio na tinutulungan natin, and of course, sa simbahan din.
The COVID-19 pandemic has not stopped the group to push their passion for music and use music to help those in need. Last year, when cases started to slow down and the government eased community quarantine restrictions, the Legion of Mary Choir was able to hold an online concert called Awit ng Pag-asa, Pananampalataya sa Gitna ng Pandemya. The group was able to raise more than 100,000 pesos from a one-night virtual concert, which proceeds were turned over to the parish to be used for the gift-giving program during last year's Christmas. The Legion of Mary Choir also believes that their service is beyond singing inside the church, but use their God-given talents to express solidarity and compassion to the community.
Well, nasa isip na ng mga tao na pag-choir ka, sa loob ka lang ng simbahan, sa mas ka lang kakanta talaga. Pero tayo, as Legion of Mary Choir, ang ginagawa namin ay gamitin yung boses natin para makapag-raise ng fund, like the concert itself. Hindi siya part ng mass, pero nakapanglikom tayo ng pera para ma-share sa ibang tao.
Patrick and the rest of the choir also take their responsibilities to get protected against COVID-19 as all members are fully vaccinated. They believe that getting vaccinated will help them continue their services in the church and give back to the community through their talents.
Walang pandemic na makakapigil sa pagsaserve, lalo na sa choir at sa simbahan, kasi ginagawa natin to para sa Diyos. Basta meron kang dedikasyon, meron kang willingness to serve the Lord, nothing can stop you, nothing can put you down, and it will inspire others as well na mag-serve, magpunta sa simbahan, ipagdasal ang kasalukuyang pandemya na nararanasan natin, at ipagdasal din ang mga taong nagsiserve sa simbahan na patuloy nilang gawin ito para sa Diyos at para sa tao.
Pinanok mo sa aking bunga na gusto ko upang mapaligaya ang aking Pasko. Bakit mo pa kaya kailangan sabihin sa akin yan? Para naman kasing hindi mo pa alam. Ang aking araw-araw ay iyon ang iniba. Mula pa nung ikaw ay aking nakilala. Pinasayaw ang ikot ng aking munting mundo. Binigyan ng dahilan ng bawat oras at minuto. Ang bawat kong pangarap yung pinalitan
kapitan. Binigyan ako ng lakas, tiyaga at tapang na harapin ang bawat tanong at pag-aalinlangan. Dahil alam kong ikaw ay katabi ko lamang. At sa tuwing pagsikat at paglubog ng araw, nagsisimula at nagwawakas sa salitang ikaw. Kaya't huwag mo nang itanong kung ano pa sa akin ay kulang. Dahil bawat araw kasama ka ay Paskong walang hanggan.
Mula sa Legion of Mary Choir,
pagbati namin ang isang maligaya, ligtas at masaganang Pasko. Muli,
Merry Christmas! For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Ben Bondo.
A safe celebration of Christmas does not necessarily mean there will be less fun and excitement, as some still do the games that draw laughter and smiles among participants. So, Marita, what is your favorite Christmas party game?
I don't know if you've heard of it. The viral game right now is that Sandok Pera Challenge. Have you seen it?
Hindi pa. How does that go?
Well, it's a little bit complicated. It seems so easy, but then if you try it yourself, you will find it really difficult.
Really difficult,
Yeah.
but it is fun, right?
Yeah, so much fun.
Okay, and you know what? Filipinos are not running out of ideas that will surely make everyone roll on the floor laughing.
Ma, ready ka na? Kung ano yung makukuha mo, sa'yo na yun. Okay, malinaw yan ha. Pag wala ka nakuha, wala. Okay, bibilang ako 3. 1, 2, 3, game.
Watch out, even without sight, and try your luck in this Sandok Pera Challenge, which is making the rounds on social media.
Seems easy, but in reality, this is tricky, as one will never know whether there is money taken by that magic spatula.
Aside from paper bills being light and difficult to get via a spatula, people screaming and laughing in the background adds to the thrill of this game. And as physical contact is not required here, this is the perfect game for those having their Yuletide gatherings with care. And of course, since this is the first time that we've been together, yes, right, in one episode, and also just to celebrate the start of a new normal, hopefully ending all of that fear and uncertainty, I got you a little token, just to, make everything light, and I'm glad that we co-anchor on this show.
So touched. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Surprise!
Oh, wow! I also have one. Thank you. Wow, thank you. Wow. I really need this, actually, to be honest. So it's something that I'll be able to use every day. The only permanent thing in this world is change. The pandemic may have brought great changes in the way we celebrate Christmas, but if there is one thing that remained constant, it is the spirit of spreading love, hope, and joy that we continue to achieve even in the midst of adversities.
No matter how simple or fancy our celebrations are, let us not forget to thank the Lord for all the blessings that we have received. Through our acts of kindness, may our light shine through the sick for them to be healed. Comfort those in sorrow and give more to those who have less in life. I'm Marita Muaje.
And I am William Theo. May the birth of Jesus Christ, the real reason for the season, bring us gifts of healing, prosperity, and peace in our lives. Good evening and Merry Christmas, everyone!